Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the SCSRA Xfinity Series. Tonight these Xfinity cars will be taking on Texas Motor Speedway for 115 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for the night, Atlee and Weiss, and I'm excited to call all the racing action here tonight. We did have a bye week last week for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we are back and better than ever here in the SCSRA Xfinity Series. But just to give a little refresher on what happened 2 weeks ago, we're at Talladega Super Speedway. We saw Joe Wright get his first win of the season, led 8 laps, had a great race, and ended up catching the victory. We saw Josh Hall take second, Austin Blaylock finished third, Logan Hagerman finished fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 was Brian Merle Jr. So we ended up seeing actually an Intensity Racing team 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh Hall says, wish I was able to race tonight instead of working. Man, sorry to hear that you weren't able to race tonight, Josh, but hey, thanks for tuning in to watch the broadcast. Cheer on your favorite drivers. And Brian Newey says, let's try to extend that point lead. Yes, I do want to go over the point standings really quickly. Right now we have a 1-point gap between first and second, Brian Newey and Cameron Austin. And right, it's very, very close right now in the point standings. So Brian Newey looking to try to extend that point standings gap. Third in points is Colin Willems. Fourth in points is Logan Hagerman. And then rounding out your top 5 right now in points, it is Devin Buccino. We would also like to take the time to sponsor, or to shout out tonight's sponsor, the Logan and Cody Show. The Logan and Cody Show stepped up to sponsor tonight's event. And the Logan and Cody Show is a podcast that has news, memes, interviews, and anything else that they can think to put into the podcast. Listen every Saturday bi-weekly, except when there's no show or it's released on a different day. The Logan and Cody Show is rated #1 by Canadian grandmothers and Dustin Dean's favorite podcast. The accolades go on and on for the show. If you want to listen to their podcast, you can listen to their podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Breaker, Castbox, and Stitcher. And they also have a YouTube and Twitter account as well. So grab the car, go to your local fast food establishment's parking lot, and sit and listen to the Logan and Cody Show. Again, thank you. Shout out to them for sponsoring tonight's event. So far in practice, we see Stephen Black with some good pace, 29.96 is his fastest lap time. We see Cody Moore sitting in second with a 29.99. He's about 300ths off of Stephen Black. Third is Cameron Austin. Fourth in practice is Blake Hensley. And fifth is Devin Buccino. We see Brian Newey says, let's go Colin Willems and YXU Racing. Right now, let's see, Colin Willems currently in practice is sitting in that 9th spot. He's looking pretty fast. He's about a 10th slower than Stephen Black right now, but he's definitely up there. I definitely think we'll see what he can do here. Looking pretty fast. And here we go. We are now currently gridding for qualifying. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time. Got Michael Lawrence heading out onto the track. Let's see what he can do here. Oh, I actually was reminded that Colin Willems will have to start from the pits tonight because of a bet he made with Kyle Mays. So that should shake things up. I just got a message from him. So we'll see how that affects things. Again, Colin Williams will have to start from the pits because he lost a bet with Kyle Mays. So, again, we'll see how that affects things. Cassie Williams says, let's go Colin and Mather. Let's see how they do here in qualifying. And looks like Logan Hagerman and the other Canadians of the league, Colin Williams and Nick Mather, have a question to answer. For on Facebook, it says, question for the Logan and Cody show. Is it true that there are different emojis available in Canada than in the United States? I don't know. That's right, Colin. Pace will be key tonight if you're going to try to make your way up to the field here. And looks like Dylan Redding keeping some great pace here in qualifying with a 30.45 right now. He's currently at the top of the board. And he improves on a second lap with a 30.15. Second is Brian Merle Jr. with a 30.56. Merle's about 4/10 off of first right now. And third is Michael Lawrence. Colin Williams says Nudie taking it to victory lane tonight. Hey, we'll see. Nudie has had a strong season all season long. But he has not gotten a win this season. So could we see Nudie break into the win column here tonight? There's definitely a chance for that to happen. We see Devin Muccino able to get to second with a 30.30 right now in qualifying. It's Neon Racing 1-2-3 at the moment. Devin Muccino still about 2/10 off of Dylan Redding right now. On his second lap, Devin Muccino got even closer now. About 1/10 separates first and second. Got Dave Wright on track right now, getting ready to set his lap times. All right, looks like Dave Wright is able to get to 8th with a 30.82. Brian Nudie to 3rd with a 30.30. He's still about 2/10 off of Dylan Redding right now. But Nudie getting up there. Brian Nudie getting ready to complete his second lap. Let's see where he gets to. Dave Wright completes the second lap. He was actually a little bit slower. Brian Nudie to the top of the board, looking to try to get his second pole of the season with a 30.12. That's going to leave the gap from first to second to 300ths between Nudie and Redding. Michael Lawrence says, love my new MF Racing designs. He's referring to Mikkel Folk Racing Designs, a paint scheme designer for a lot of the drivers here in the SCSRA Xfinity series. I actually haven't looked at the paint scheme in full for Michael Lawrence, but I'll have to check it out. Looks like Dave Wright staying out despite he's completed all of his lap times, looking to try to get a little bit of extra practice time. We got Kyle Mays on track getting ready to set his first lap time. First lap for Kyle Mays. Mays is able to get to 8th with a 30.76, still about 6/10 off of the pole right now. See if he can improve a little bit more. All right, so far, Kyle May is able to get to 4th with a 30.28. We got Joe Wright on track. Isaiah Gill heading out on track right now. There we go. We got Colin Williams heading out onto the track right now. This qualifying run will not mean anything for him, however, because he will have to start from the pits again because he lost a bet between him and Kyle Mays. Isaiah Gill, first lap for him. He's just started it. Look at this. Stephen Black to the top of the board. Your fastest driver in practice gets a 30.03. So that's going to leave a 1/10 gap between first and second right now. Wow, great lap time for Stephen. Looks like Isaiah Gill gets into the inside wall. Like Cameron Austin able to get up to third here with a 30.14. He's still, though, about a 10th off of Stephen Black. I believe that was his first lap. Let's see if he can improve on his next lap. Colin Willems to the top of the board with a 30.01. Wow. 200th faster than Stephen Black. What a lap time for Colin Willems. Zach Cox says, is Nudie going to finish second again? I hope not. He's got to get a victory. You got to get into the win column before the playoffs. That'd be awesome for Nudie to do that. Let's see if he can break into the win column here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Got Blake Hensley on track right now. See Blake Hensley running up against the wall here, getting ready to try to build up on. Oh, look at this. We see Cody Moore able to get to third on the board with a 30.06. He's about 500ths off of first place Colin Willems, so Cody Moore looking pretty fast right now. See how well Blake Hensley can do on his second lap. I do have some big news involving the SCSRA series, and that is this Saturday, December 4th, there's going to be a versus race between the SCSRA drivers and the original Rebels Racing League drivers. It is going to be trucks at Nashville. And both leagues will try to pick their best drivers, and they will go at it to try to see who is the #1 league. We'll see what happens there with that. And again, you can tune in to this showdown between the SCSRA and the original Rebels Racing League on December 4th, Saturday on Intensity Broadcasting. Lap times are very, very tight right now between the top 5. That is true for sure. Right now we're watching Derek Chaput currently running his second lap right now. Even after Cody Moore's completed all of his lap times, he is staying out and getting a little bit of extra practice time. And we are now currently gridding for your feature event. 25 cars will be starting tonight's event. And here's a look at your qualifying order. Starting on the pole with a 30.005 with YXU Racing. It's the 17 of Colin Willems. Outside of him, it's going to be the 98 of Stephen Black. Third is YXU's Cody Moore. Fourth will be league owner Brian Nudie. And then rounding out your top 5, we have Cameron Austin. In 6th place, it's the owner of Neon Racing, Dylan Redding. 7th will be Blake Hensley. In 8th place, it's Devin Buccino. 9th will be the Mays Mafia Zone, Kyle Mays. And then rounding out your top 10, we have Isaiah Gill. In 11th, we have Intensity Broadcasting Zone Joe Wright. 12th will be Canada's Nick Mather. In 13th, we have Brian Merle Jr. in that Neon Racing Machine. 14th will be Michael Lawrence. And then rounding out your top 15, we have 2 pedals, 1 clutches, Michael Proval. Then in 16th, we have Zachary Cox. 17th is the Mays Mafia's Todd Mays. And 18th, it will be Sylvan Segoy. 19th is Bobby Mays. And then rounding out your top 20, we have Dave Wright. 21st is Derek Chaput. 22nd is Intensity Broadcasting Zone Eddie Morse. 23rd will be Daniel Michel. 24th is Nick Ford. And then last but not least, it will be Brandon White. Yep, that is right. As you can see, Colin Williams is not gridded because he will be starting from the pits after losing a bet between him and Kyle Mays. So that's going to shake things up a little bit. Kyle Mays, he will be starting on the top 10. Here we go. We are getting off a pit road and getting ready to start our pace laps. Drivers getting their tires warmed up for the green flag. And we're going to take a look here at the race info. Right now it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 64% humidity, clear skies. Bit windy here in Fort Worth, Texas, 11 miles per hour wind speed. Track temperature is a little bit warmer than the air temperature at 66 degrees Fahrenheit. We are at the 1.5 mile Texas Motor Speedway, again located in Fort Worth, Texas. All right, here we go. Coming to the green flag. Again, Cody Moore will be starting on the bottom since he was third and Colin Williams had to go into the pits. Here we go. Cody Moore on the bottom. Stephen Black on the top. 115 laps. Here we go. Green flag is out here at Texas Motor Speedway. We see Stephen Black getting a great run on that outside. He's got the nose over Cody Moore as we head into turns 1 and 2. We see Cody Moore looking back low under that 98 machine. Moore to the rear quarter panel, to the door of that 98 machine. We see a few drivers getting loose off of turn number 2. Oh, a lot of fanning out, a lot of checking up behind these two who are currently running side by side right now. Moore with the nose, getting a great run on the bottom. And there we go. Cody Moore is up to the lead and is clear of Stephen Black. Stephen Black, though, staying right behind that 52 machine, trying to get back up there. Looks like we got a battle for fourth currently going on. Looks like we're having a time in scoring issue. Here we go. Looks like we're currently seeing Brian Nudie on the back bumper of Blake Hensley for that 5th spot right now. Nudie lost 2 spots when the green flag dropped. It looked like he got a little bit loose off of 2 there on the start. He's trying to work his way back up to the field, and the first car he needs to pass is Blake Hensley. Trying to get under him. He just can't quite right now. Let's take a look at the cockpit of Brian Nudie. See, Blake Hensley has a little bit of damage on his rear bumper right now. know if that's going to affect him. Texas Motor Speedway is one of those tracks where aerodynamic damage can make a huge aerodynamic factor. And there we go. We see Nudie able to get a great run through 3 and 4. Looking low under Blake Hensley, and he is clear. Brian Nudie is back up to 5th now. But Blake Hensley staying right on that back bumper of that 40 machine. We do see Isaiah Gill looking low under Blake Hensley for 6th. Blake Hensley is blinking a little bit. See if that will become an issue. Gill able to get to Hensley's rear quarter panel, but we see Blake able to get back clear. Brian Nudie reeling in Kyle Mays. A look. Isaiah Gill still trying to get low under Blake Hensley for 6th. Again, Blake Hensley shuts the door. Back bumper of Kyle Mays right now for that 4th spot as Nudie's continuing his trek to make his way up to the field. Now Nudie is in the pass setup process. So we'll look at the cockpit cam of that 40 machine. He's going to take a look down low under Kyle Mays here in 3 and 4. They're side by side. Nudie with the nose, and Brian Nudie is able to get clear and up to 4th now. We see, though, Kyle Mays. Oh, Brian Nudie into the outside wall. That's going to slow him down and allow Kyle Mays to catch back up. We see Mays trying to look low under that 40 machine. But look at this. We see Blake Hensley looking to the outside of that 55 machine of Kyle Mays. A little bit of contact made between Hensley and Kyle Mays. Hensley getting to about the rear quarter panel of that 55 machine. We see Kyle Mays able to get back clear side by side now for 6th between Isaiah Gill and Blake Hensley. Now Isaiah Gill with the nose. And there we go. He is clear. Isaiah Gill up to 6th now and is clear of Blake Hensley. And we have Devin Buccino running in 8th. Kyle Mays back up to sitting on that back bumper of that 40 machine after Nudie passed Kyle Mays a couple laps ago. Look at this, Isaiah Gill getting a great run. He is looking low under Kyle Mays for that 5th spot. Gill with the nose as we head into turns 1 and 2. And Isaiah Gill up to that 5th spot now. We have Isaiah Gill looking low to the rear quarter panel of Brian Nudie. And there we go. Isaiah Gill is able to get clear and up to that 4th spot. So Isaiah Gill has kind of turned on the rocket boosters right now. He was able to get by Blake Hensley, then Kyle Mays, then Brian Nudie, and now he's starting to track down Cameron Austin. Isaiah Gill looking very, very fast right now. I don't know if he saved his tires a little bit more compared to everybody else, but he's looking way faster at the moment. So we're now back to seeing Kyle Mays on the back bumper of Brian Nudie. This is for the 5th spot. Hensley all over the back bumper of Kyle Mays. We see Blake looking to the outside, trying to see if he can get a good run up there. Kyle Mays to the rear quarter panel of Brian Nudie. He's getting right there, and then Blake Hensley's on the rear quarter panel of Kyle Mays. Mays getting a great run on the bottom. He has the nose over Brian Nudie as we head through 3 and 4. And there we go. Kyle Mays is up to 5th now. Blake Hensley 6th. Blake Hensley looking low now under the 55 of Kyle Mays. He's going to fall back in line behind him. Take a look. Let's see. Right now, Hensley able to get to the rear quarter panel of Kyle Mays as we're getting right ahead into turns 3 and 4. And behind them, it's Devin Lucchino. And there we go. Blake Hensley gets a good run and is up to 5th now. Devin Lucchino taking a look down low under Kyle Mays for 6th. And there we go. He's up there. Lucchino now trying to track down Blake Hensley for that 5th spot. Kyle Mays currently all over the back bumper of Devin Lucchino. And look at this. We have last week's winner, Joe Wright, currently sitting in that 8th spot. There we got Joe Wright taking a look to the rear quarter panel. Oh, looks like Cameron Austin has fallen behind a little bit. He's got Blake Hensley looking low under him. Devin Lucchino looking low under him. All these drivers flying right by. I don't know what happened to Cameron Austin. So now we see Blake Hensley is up to 4th. Devin Lucchino is up to 5th. We see Devin Lucchino continuing to try to chase down that 31 machine. We got Mays. Kyle Mays starting to reel in. Joe Wright for that 6th spot. Field's starting to get a little bit spread out at the moment. So here's a look at your current top 5. We see Cody Moore currently running in that 1st spot. In 2nd place, it's Stephen Black. Currently running in 3rd right now. One of the biggest movers of the race, getting 7 spots since the green flag came out. Got Isaiah Gill in 3rd. In 4th place, it's Blake Hensley. And then last but not least, in 5th place currently, It's none other than Devin Buccino. And we do have Devin Buccino looking low under Blake Hensley for that 4th spot. Side by side on the back stretch. Buccino with the nose. Almost clear, and there we go. Devin Buccino is up to 4th now, with Blake Hensley staying on his back bumper. Looks like Joe Wright is joining the party as well in this battle for the 4th spot. Blake Hensley getting ready to maybe try to set up a pass here. Staying right on that back bumper of that 68 machine. Hensley right now on the rear quarter panel of Devin Buccino. He's going to fall back behind him, but he's definitely right there. Here we go. We see Hensley looking low into turns 3 and 4 under Devin Buccino, and there he goes. Gets a great run, able to get clear. Blake Hensley up to 4th now. Devin Buccino in 5th. Joe Wright in 6th. Joe all over the back bumper of Buccino right now. Then Buccino is going to try to reel back in Blake Hensley for 4th. And we see Buccino looking low here in turns 1 and 2. Getting to about the rear quarter panel of that 31. Joe Wright currently on the back bumper of Devin Buccino. Joe looking to try to break into the top 5. And there we go. We see Joe Wright taking a look down low under Devin Buccino, and he is able to get clear. And oh, look at this. We see green flag pit stops. Your top 3, Cody Moore, Stephen Black, and Isaiah Gill, all coming in. This should signal the rest of the field to make their way down onto pit road as well. So this is going to give now the lead to Blake Hensley. And so that means it's a battle for 2nd currently between Devin Buccino and Joe Wright. Joe Wright was able to make it by. Got a battle for 4th going on. We see Nick Mather taking a look to the outside of Kyle Mays. And it looks like Kyle Mays will be coming in. Yes, he is coming in to get tires now. The 4th driver to come in. Colin Williams is in. Bobby Mays is in. I think right now with Cody Moore, Isaiah Gill, and Stephen Black all coming in, they're going to have a bigger advantage compared to everybody else. Because they'll have the track position, but also for drivers like Blake Hensley and Joe Wright, who are staying out as long as they possibly can, they will have the freshest tires. And there we see Blake Hensley coming in now. Let's see if some of his Cyclone teammates coming behind him. Got Nick Mather coming in. Eddie Moore's coming in. So this is going to give the lead now to Joe Wright. Joe Wright staying out pretty long. And he's only had 1 second of tire fall off. So Joe Wright looking pretty good right now. There's only 9 cars on the lead lap right now. Now would be a perfect opportunity for Joe to come in with all these drivers trapped down a lap. Oh, but here comes Cody Moore. He's able to get by Devin Buccino, and he is now has Joe Wright in sight. Here we go. We got Cody Moore looking low under Joe Wright now. And Cody Moore is the first car of the drivers who have made green flag pit stops to get their lap back. Looks like Gill starting to reel in Joe Wright now to get his lap back. Big question here is how long is Joe willing to stay out? There we go. Gill has gotten his lap back now. Still 9 cars need to come in and make their green flag pit stops. There we go. We see Joe Wright making that hard left turn onto pit road. Devin Buccino coming in behind him. So this is going to give the lead now, with these two coming in to get fresh tires. This is going to give the lead now to Todd Mays. Todd Mays is now your new leader. He's currently seeing around 1.5 seconds of tire fall off. And then we see Nick Mather and Colin Willems getting their laps back. Question here is how long is Todd Mays willing to stay out? This is a decent. All right, there we see Brian Merle Jr., Michael Provolt coming in. I think this is a good. Zachary Cox is coming in. Derek Chaput is coming in. So that's going to leave Todd Mays as the only driver that needs to come in. I like this strategy from Todd because when he comes in, he will have the freshest tires out of the whole field, and that will put him at a big advantage. And there we go. We see Todd Mays making that hard left turn on the pit road. Since he's coming in right now, he will have the freshest tires out of the whole field. And with Todd Mays coming in, we see Cody Moore is back to the lead. Isaiah Gill is in second, Stephen Black third, fourth, Brian Nudie fifth, Blake Hensley. And the field has gotten pretty spread out right now with green flag pit stops. But we still see Joe Wright, Devin Buccino battling it out. These two came into the pits at pretty much the exact same time. They're at the same tire. They pretty much have the same amount of laps on their tires. So we'll see how this battle goes between these two. See, Joe is actually separating his gap between him and Devin Buccino right now. Here's a look again at your top 5. We got Cody Moore in first. Second biggest mover of the race, Isaiah Gill in second. In third, it's Stephen Black. In the fourth position, it's Brian Nudie. And then rounding at your top 5 currently in fifth, we have Blake Hensley. Look at this. Colin Willems, who had to start in the pits, has made his way up to 9th now. So far, good job to Colin Willems for making his way up to the field. Again, he lost a bet with Kyle Mays where he had to start in the pits. And he has definitely worked his way up to the field. Of course, he does have Joe Wright looking low under him. They're side by side. Joe Wright is able to get clear and up to 9th now. And here comes Devin Buccino coming as well. Colin Willems, there we go. He has gotten passed by Dem Buccino now. Buccino trying to drive away from that 17 machine. See Dylan Redding trying to work his way up to the field. He's got the nose currently over Dave Wright. Cameron Austin currently has Nick Mather under him through 3 and 4. Mather getting a great run, and he's able to get clear. We see Joe Wright looking under Cameron Austin as well. He got a little bit loose there in 3 and 4, but Joe Wright able to save it. See Austin washing way up the track, and that's going to allow everybody to head under him. So Joe Wright able to get down low. Buccino able to get under that 77 machine. Looks like Colin Williams getting ready to pass him as well. We do have Devin Buccino and Joe Wright currently battling it out for that 8th spot currently. Buccino all over the back bumper of that 82 machine. Buccino looking low, heading into turns 1 and 2. Devin able to get to the rear quarter panel of that 82 machine. We also see Joe Wright reeling in Nick Mather. Mather looking up, washing up the track a little bit. We see Joe Wright able to get under that 16 machine, and Joe getting a great run. Can Joe Wright get up to that 7th spot? He can. Joe Wright up to that 7th position. We see Dem Buccino also looking low under Nick Mather, and he is able to get up there to that 8th spot. You see Kyle Mays reeling in Brian Nudie for 5th. Kyle May is able to get to about the rear quarter panel of that 40 machine. Mays right now just trying to set up the pass. Let's actually take a look here what it looks like from Kyle Mays' perspective. There we go. We see Kyle Mays getting a great run through 1 and 2 on that bottom. He's got the nose over Brian Nudie here on the backstretch. They are coming up on some lap traffic. And there we go. We see Kyle Mays now able to get up to 5th. I did forget, Michael Lawrence currently running a new paint scheme made by Mickle Folk Designs. I'm going to actually take the time to look at it. So we got Cheeseburger Motorsports, Jacobs TV on the back. I like it. That's a solid paint scheme right there. Shout out to Mickle Folk for making an awesome looking paint scheme. That Cheeseburger Motorsports machine. Right now we got a battle between Colin Williams and Nick Mather. We see Colin Williams able to look low under Mather and get that 9th spot. The field's starting to get a little bit spread out at the moment. So we will look at our current top 5. Cody Moore still in 1st. Isaiah Gill is in 2nd. Stephen Black is in position number 3. And 4th is Blake Kinsley. And right now, rounding out your top 5, it's Kyle Mays. Then I do want to give a shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that is the Logan and Cody Show. The Logan and Cody Show is a podcast that has news, memes, interviews, and anything else that they can think of to put on the podcast. Listen every Saturday bi-weekly except when there's no show or it's released on a different day. The Logan and Cody Show is rated #1 by Canadian grandmothers, and the Logan and Cody Show is Dustin Dean's favorite podcast. The Logan and Cody Show has many accolades that they can list. If you want to listen to the Logan and Cody Show, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Pocket Casts, Overcast, Breaker, Castbox, and Stitcher. And they also have a YouTube channel that you can actually watch the podcast on. And they also have a Twitter account that you can visit. So get in the car, drive to your local fast food establishment, sit in their parking lot, and listen to the Logan and Cody Show. Right now we see Devin Buccino on the back bumper of Kyle Mays for that 6th spot. Kyle Mays getting held up by some lap traffic. Devin Buccino right on the back bumper of Kyle Mays. Let's see what he can do here. Buccino able to get to the rear quarter panel of Kyle Mays as we head through turns 1 and 2. They are side by side. Devin Buccino with the nose. Can he get clear? He does. Devin Buccino up to 6th place now. And look at this. Isaiah Gill has reeled in Cody Moore. We are going to have a battle for the lead here. I do want to take a look, and we are currently nearing the pit window for these drivers. So just make sure to keep an eye on that. These drivers should be coming in to the pit soon again. And there we go. We see Isaiah Gill able to get a great run. He gets by Cody Moore, and Isaiah Gill is up to 1st now. Isaiah Gill has 1 win this season. He's looking to try to make it 2. Field getting spread out, and with all the changes that we've seen, we now have Isaiah Gill in 1st, Cody Moore in 2nd, Stephen Black is in 3rd, 4th place is Blake Hensley, and then rounding out your top 5, we have Joe Wright. Right now, I think these drivers are currently in tire and fuel saving mode at the moment because they know that the pit window will be coming up soon. Question is when? When will we see your leaders, Isaiah Gill, Cody Moore, Stephen Black, come in? All 3 of them did a great job last green flag pit stop by being the first drivers to come in. That really helped them to get back up to the front and inherit the lead once the full cycle went through. Now, we saw 2 different sides with the pit strategy. I mentioned the first drivers who came in were Gill, Moore, and Black, but the last there we go. Speaking of green flag pit stops, we see Isaiah Gill coming in, Cody Moore's coming in, and I assume we'll see Stephen Black coming as well. No, Stephen Black is going to stay out, so the first 2 drivers to come in are going to be Isaiah Gill and Cody Moore. We see Colin Willems coming in to take tires, Brian Nudie coming in, Nick Mather coming in, majority of YXU Racing coming in. So that's going to give Stephen Black the lead now. Question is, how long is Stephen Black willing to stay out? I know Stephen was one of the first drivers to come in last green flag pit stop. Looks like this time he may be going for a different strategy. There we go. You see Kyle Mays coming in now. So that's going to switch up the top 5 a little bit. Here we go. We see Stephen Black making that hard left turn on the pit road. He will be pitting now. And that is going to give the lead to Blake Hensley, who's currently blinking a little bit. There we go. Question is, when will Blake Hensley come in? He comes in now, making that hard left turn on the pit road just as Isaiah Gill and Cody Moore get their laps back. So this is going to give the lead to Joe Wright now. Looks like Eddie Morse comes in as well. So Joe Wright right now currently sitting in that first position. Question is, when will he come in? He stayed out for a long time last time we had green flag pit stops. So let's see if the same thing happens here. So let's see. Last time we saw Joe Wright stayed out for 35 laps. He's currently at 28, so based on how long he stayed out last time, he's still got a couple more laps before he comes in. Actually, more than a couple. Derek Chapuis's wheel issues had to bail. Sorry that happened to you, Derek, but thanks for tuning in to watch the broadcast, and hey, there's always next week. So we see Joe Wright continuing to stay out. He's currently battling with a lap car, Zachary Cox. Uh-oh, Zachary Cox getting a little bit loose. Here comes Cameron Austin looking to try to get his lap back. There we go. We see Steve Black able to get under that 82 machine. He gets his lap back. Only 4 cars need to come in now. It's going to be Joe Wright, Devin Buccino, Dylan Redding, and Todd Mays. They need to come in. Joe Wright still has 2 more laps to go before he reaches his pit window. There's still a bunch of cars down a lap, a bunch of fast cars. Only 10 cars are on the lead lap. Joe Wright continues to stay out. comes Brian Newty reeling in Joe Wright to get his lap back. Looks like Cody Moore and Isaiah Gill have gotten up to third and fourth now. And there we see Joe Wright finally making that descent onto pit road. And so that is going to give the lead now to Devin Buccino, the last driver that needs to come in. And I definitely respect Devin Buccino's strategy, because when he comes in, he's a fast car, and if he comes in, he'll have the freshest tires out of the entire field. We've already seen 1 second of tire fall off from Cody Moore and Isaiah Gill. So Buccino's strategy is not bad at all. He's actually staying out longer than he did last green flag pit stop. Here we see Dylan Redding coming in now. That's just going to leave Todd Mays and Devin Buccino as the drivers that need to come in. And there we go. We see Devin Buccino finally coming in. And this should give the lead now to Cody Moore. Yep, there we go. Cody Moore up to the lead now. And we currently see a tight battle for first. Right now, currently, I think now is the perfect time. Lots of action on track, lots of high speeds. I think we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of pump up the intensity, turn up that volume so you get to hear the sounds and sights of the racetrack. Here we go. So that is going to do it for Pump Up the Intensity. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume. While we were doing that, we did see Isaiah Gill was able to get by Cody Moore for the lead. Now, Isaiah Gill has been fast all race long, and we're definitely seeing it here as he took the lead. Let's take a look at your current top 5. You see Isaiah Gill is in first. In the second place spot, it's Cody Moore. In third, we have Stephen Black. Fourth is Blake Hensley. And then rounding out your top 5 currently, it is Colin Willems. And the field getting pretty spread out right now. Green flag pit stops can do that sometimes. Oh, we do see Joe Wright is reeling in Eddie Morris for that 8th spot. And we see Joe Wright taking a look down low under him in 3 and 4. And he is able to get clear. Joe Wright up to 8th now. We did see teammates battling it out there. But we see Eddie Morris holding his own, trying to not let Joe Wright get away. But in the end, we see Joe Wright extends that gap. Let's just do a whole through the field right now to see where your favorite driver currently is. We've got Isaiah Gill in first, Cody Moore in second, Stephen Black in third, Blake Hensley in fourth, Colin Willems in fifth. We have Brian Nudie in sixth. Seventh is Kyle Mays. In 8th, we have Joe Wright. In 9th, we have Eddie Morris. And then rounding out your top 10, currently have Dev Muccino. In 11th, it's Nick Mather. 12th is Dylan Redding. 13th is Todd Mays. 14th, we have Cameron Austin. In 15th, it's Michael Provolt. 16th is Dave Wright. In 17th place, it's Michael Lawrence. 18th is Bobby Mays. Sylvan Seguin is 19th. And then rounding out your top 20, we have Brian Merle Jr. Zachary Cox is in 21st. And Derek Chaput is in 22nd. He ended up having to drop out early because of wheel issues. Isaiah Gill right now just running away with it. We didn't see him too much, and then all of a sudden he bursted out of nowhere, and he has just been unstoppable ever since getting by Cody Moore. We do see a battle for 7th beginning to brew. Got Joe Wright on the back bumper of Kyle Mays currently. So Joe Wright looking low under Kyle Mays now. And he is able to get clear and up to 7th now. Kyle Mays staying right on that back bumper of that 82 machine. But in the end, it looks like Joe Wright is able to get clear. And again, we have reached the stint length for your drivers. We should be seeing some green flag pit stops soon. And there we go. Speaking of green flag pit stops, we see Cody Moore is the first driver to come in. And I know Cody Moore, one of the reasons why he probably came in first was he's trying to find any advantage at all to get ahead of Isaiah Gill. See Brian Nudie coming in, Joe Wright coming in. Isaiah Gill keeping that lead, and there we go. We see Gill now coming in. Stephen Black making it onto pit road, and this is going to give the lead now to Blake Hensley. Blake Hensley now your current leader. He's still got 4 more laps before he reaches how long he stayed out last green flag pit stop. And we're actually coming to 25 laps to go here. I believe this is going to be the last pit stop. Here we go. We see Cody Moore getting his lap back. Colin Willems coming in now into the pits to get fresh tires. Blake Hensley keeping it in that lead, though. I think he's getting ready to put Isaiah Gill down a lap. Ooh, looks like Isaiah Gill gets into Blake Hensley a little bit. That could have been disastrous. I think Blake Hensley was slowing down to head into the pits, and Gill wasn't expecting that when he slowed up, so he ran right into the back of him. But there we go. Blake Hensley coming in, and this should give the lead now to Devin Buccino in that 68 machine. Devin Buccino is only on 18-lap tires, and he stayed out 38 laps last time. So if I make my calculations correct, he maybe could be able to make it for the rest of the race without coming in. That would be an interesting move by the 68, but that could definitely happen. Here we see Nick Mather coming in now. Get some fresh rubber. Now there's really only 2 cars that need to come in, Devin Buccino and Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris also is pretty much on the same schedule that Buccino is in. They might, both of them might be able to make it for the rest of the race without coming in. Currently, we see about a 10-second gap between Cody Moore, who is the driver who came in first, and Devin Buccino. So we'll see if that can close or not. The driver with the freshest tires is Nick Mather, who's looking to, and I don't see him anywhere, so it looks like he might stay on the lead lap for a little bit. I mean, down a lap for a little bit. In the field getting very spread out. We do see Blake Hensley reeling in Todd Mays very quickly for that 7th spot. See Hensley getting a great run, and he gets clear. Blake Hensley up to 7th now. We see Eddie Morris finally coming in. But I think Devin Buccino is going to, let's see, 35-38 for his stint length, and he's currently at 23. I think he could potentially stay out for this whole green flag run. There's currently an 8-second gap between him and Cody Moore right now, so he has to keep that in mind. I don't see Cody anywhere, though. Oh, there he is. Cody Moore is just coming in to the backstretch right now. So it looks like Cody Moore being the first driver to come in. That is going to pay off because he's back ahead of Gill. Cody Moore has gotten the lead, but the gap between him and Devin Buccino now to 2 seconds. So Devin Buccino probably getting a little bit worried right now. It's like Blake Kinsley blinking a little bit. See Dylan Redding coming in now to get some fresh rubber on that number 11 machine. $15 laps to go for Devin Buccino. Devin Buccino looking to try to get his second win of the season. He won at a track very similar here to Texas. He won at Kansas. So Devin Buccino showing he is very good at these 1.5 miles. And here comes Cody Moore. He's finally reeled in Devin Buccino. And Cody Moore is up to the lead now. So with Cody Moore in the lead, Cody Moore looking to try to get a hat trick. He's got 2 wins this season. Which I forget where he got it at. I believe Cody Moore got the win, his second win at either Kentucky or Atlanta. If somebody can fact check me on that. So he's trying to get the hat trick in his 3rd win of the season here. Let's see if he can do it. But you always have to watch out for Isaiah Gill, who is currently reeling in Devin Buccino. Gill able to get to second now. So right now your top 5 is looking like this. Cody Moore in 1st, Isaiah Gill in 2nd, Devin Buccino in 3rd, Stephen Black in 4th, and Blake Kinsley in 5th. Ten laps to go now for Cody Moore. Do see Kyle Mays able to get up to 9th. Now he gets by Todd. Do have a battle brewing for 4th. Looks like Blake Hensley is reeling in Stephen Black. Here's a look from the onboard view of that 31 Kellogg's machine. There we go. Looks like Blake Hensley has gotten the gap between him and Stephen Black now to about 1/10. We currently don't have commands on Twitch at the moment. What Discord are you looking to join? It would be something that I would maybe consider adding in the future on Twitch command, so you could... There we go. We see Dan Buccino filing it. You could say exclamation Discord, and you could get the Discord for the league or the Intensity Broadcasting Discord, but we don't have that currently set up, so just let me know what Discord you're maybe looking to join. The leagues or something else. All right, we're coming to 1 lap to go for Cody Moore. Cody looking to try to get his 3rd win of a season. He has had a great season so far, and another win will just continue on that trend. Final lap. He's got a 5-second gap between him and 2nd place, Isaiah Gill. He's just got to keep it clean on the back, stretching through 3 and 4, and he should get the victory. Cody Moore, able to get through 3 and 4. Cody Moore will win here at Texas Motor Speedway. Wow, what a great race here for Cody Moore. Starting in the top 3, just stayed up there for most of the race and ended up getting the win. You see Isaiah Gill takes 2nd, Stephen Black finishes 3rd, Blake Hensley 4th, and Colin Willems 5th. So, Cody Moore getting ready to do a burnout. Here we go. Cody Moore burning it down here at Texas Motor Speedway in a well-deserved burnout at that. Look at this. Cody Moore continuing on this burnout. Looks like he's been practicing this. Cody Moore Nation on their feet. Look at this. Oh, looks like we have Stephen Black here in the waiting room. So we'll go ahead and pull him in while Cody Moore continues to do his burnout. Here we go. Steven, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
How's it going, Atlee?
Going pretty good. And hey, looks like it was going pretty good for you out there yourself. I know you started on the pole since Colin Williams started on the pole and he had to start in the pit. So start on that inside row and you were up in the top 3 for most of the race. And you came in with the top 3, Gill and Moore, for all of the pit stops. And y'all just kind of stayed together for the race, and after that last green flag pit stop, you ended up coming out in 3rd, and that's where you stayed. And I mean, just what was your take on this race here at Texas?
The setup was really tight. I didn't really do any practice on long runs, so I didn't know what to expect. I was definitely a hot lap hero in this one. I think the longest run I had in practice was like 5 laps, so I didn't know what the car was going to end up doing. But I had no pit strategy either, so I just kind of winged it and figured whatever Cody and Isaiah were going to do was going to work, so I just stuck with them.
Got you. Now, do you think there would maybe have been something that you could have done differently to get up to the top 2 or to first?
Probably not let Cody pass me for the lead at the beginning. I caught him on that first run, and then I just didn't do anything. Started plowing really bad. But, yeah, I think that's probably the one thing I would change.
Got you. Well, before we let you go, Steven, is there any family members or sponsors you would like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Tracy Umber Fishing, Skylar Graphics Cyclone Racing, Black Hill Farms for being on the car, Sim Racing Merch, and you, as always, for broadcasting, and Grandma Hagerman.
Got you. Well, again, congratulations on that podium finish, Steven. Have a great rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
All right, we're now going to pull in your second place finisher, Isaiah Gill. Here we go. Isaiah, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Got ya.
Awesome. Well, what a race for you here tonight. I know you were one of our biggest movers of the race. After starting in 10th, you quickly made your way up through the field, and we saw you in the top 3 for most of the race and battling back and forth with Cody, and you did lead a couple laps, and after that second green flag pit stop, you took the lead, but then we saw Cody, he came in before you on that last green flag pit stop, and he was able to keep the lead after that, and you couldn't really catch him, but still, solid performance here tonight. What was your take on this race here at Texas?
It was pretty good. I feel like I had definitely something for him. I came out a second behind him after our pit stop, and somebody pit without saying anything, and I hit him and dropped down to, I think, 2.4 seconds, and after that, car was damaged and just couldn't catch him after that point.
What was your take on the setup? I know Steven, he said the setup was tight. What'd you think of it?
I actually loved it. The set, I think once the tires started giving out, you had to really, I tapped the brake and hit the gas, and then it kind of sent it around, which helped me a lot. And it definitely was tight. I was more tight when I had fresh tires than old tires, so.
Got you. Well, before we let you go, Isaiah, is there any family members or shout-outs or sponsors or anything before we let you go that you'd like to shout out?
I'd like to thank Cody Moore for pitch strategy, Canudi for the emotional support, and Colin for boss man, and the rest of our teammates for being good teammates.
Got you. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up finish, Isaiah, and hopefully we'll see another great performance next week. Have a great rest of your night, Isaiah.
You too.
Thank you. And now with his third win of the season from Cincinnati, Ohio, it's time to pull in your winner, Cody Moore. Cody, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Awesome. Well, what a run for you. Ended up getting your third win of the season, and you started in that third spot, and you ran in the top 3 for most of this race. You led most of this race after having a little bit of a battle with Steven at the beginning. Then we saw during those second green flag pit stops, Isaiah, he was able to get ahead of you, and you couldn't really quite get up to him. But then on the third pit stop, we saw you came in a little bit earlier than he did and had about a second lead when everything was said and done, and then he ended up getting into the back of Blake Hensley, and that really just got you a big lead. And I mean, what was your take on this race here at Texas?
I'm surprised every time I come here. I don't particularly like this track, but this is the first one I ever got back in the days of the league that shall not be mentioned, on an oval. So yeah, it must be something about this track that I just kind of get. Isaiah was killing me on the second and third stint through 1 and 2. I just could not get it figured out. I was tight off. He was coming off way lower. But then luckily, I think that last run, I figured it out. But yeah, I didn't know he had damage. I knew something would have to be up because him and Steven were half a second to a second off the pace there at the end. So I knew something had to be going on. But yeah, it was a good race. Isaiah was the class of the field. I was just lucky to get one there.
Now, I mean, what do you think sets you apart from the rest of the field? Do you think it was maybe pitch strategy or something else that you were doing? Tell us what you think about that question.
Yeah, for sure. I looked at they gave us an extra set now, and I was looking kind of at the fuel run and the tire fall off, and man, like 16 laps in, you're almost 2 seconds off the pace already. So my strategy was just to come in as soon as my fuel window hit each time. I think that fall off and short pitting really got me out there. And luckily, Steven had some issue on pit road the first time around, and he never really caught back up. But I think Steven and Isaiah and Colin Willems too, if they were up here, I probably would have been top 5 at best.
Got you. Well, before we let you go, Cody, is there any family members or sponsors you would like to thank before we let you go?
Absolutely. First off, I have to thank my teammates at YXU Racing, Colin Willems, Brian Nudie, Isaiah Gill, Nick Mather. They make me better every week. Steven for racing me clean there at the beginning. My wife Maggie, my 2 kids, let me do this, stay up late at night and have fun with you guys. Atlee in the booth, you always kill it. I always enjoy you interviewing me at the end here. I got to thank, for my sponsors, I got to thank Michael Falk Designs. He gives me great paints. I'm not running one right now. I'm running a Stephen Black design right now. I got to thank Stephen Black for the paints too. And Brian Nudie for running the league. And most of all, everyone I have fun week after week in this league with.
And of course, how ironic it is that you ended up winning on the Logan and Cody show night.
I don't know what that is. I never listen.
Yeah, me neither. All right. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night, Cody. And again, congratulations on your win.
Good job, Batman. I'll talk to you.
All right. All right. That is going to do it here for the broadcast at the Texas Motor Speedway. Again, congratulations for Cody Moore for getting the victory. I want to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goal of 2,000 followers and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and Facebook by April of 2022, which is our 2-year anniversary. Also, check us out on Twitter, IntensityBroad1. We are always dropping polls on there. I'm Atlee Atman-Weist on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.